This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So in the last session, we discussed about difference between append and insert on standard internal tables and how to read a specific record from the internal table, and also internal table with the key or without key, and what else sort statement we have discussed. Okay, so let's see how to modifying internal table contents. So I'll make a copy of the last program. Yeah, this 27th example, I'll copy to 28. Right. So as usual, I'll create the type structure. Based on this type structure, I'll declare an internal table without header. So I'll remove all these things. I'm just making the changes. Yeah, may I know who is this logged in by name attendee 14 without any name? Just no logged in. Hello. Yeah, who is
Yes, sir.
this?
Is it me? Is it me, sir?
Yeah, who is this?
Yeah, this is Sajjad.
Sajad. Okay, okay, fine. Fine, Sajad. Okay, right. So just here. Okay. So just observe here. So what is the standard way of declaring the internal table? First, we have to create the types structure. So I created the type structure with the required fields. Then based on the type structure, I'm declaring an internal table without any default header. This is the recommendation. Since it is an internal table without default header, we require what? Work area. So I declared a work area based on the same type structure. this work area, we can use it as a header for the internal table. So as usual, what is the process of filling the internal table data? First, you have to assign the data to the work area. From work area, we are appending it to what? Internal table. Okay, we are appending it to internal table. Done. Yeah. So we have appended all these records. Fine. Let me execute this. Right. So this is the data available. Okay. So I'll do one thing. Let me add one more record. I'm adding one more record. Yeah. Right. So this is the data in my internal table. Okay. So my requirement is, the requirement is, wherever manager is there, that should be updated to senior manager. Okay. So we don't know how many records contains designation as manager. Wherever the designation is manager, that particular record designation should be modified to what? Senior manager. Right. So can anyone tell me how do we go about this approach? I don't want the exact solution. How do we approach? Wherever manager is there, that should be updated to senior manager. So how do we approach? Yes, anyone?
Replace use.
By using replace.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Replace function is for strings.
Yes.
It is for string, but this is the internal table data.
Update the table by
Sir,
giving the constraint.
Sorry, Rashmi.
Using update statement, giving a where any constraint.
Update statement is for database table, but this is the internal table.
Modify, sorry. It is modify.
Modify.
Yeah.
Okay, correct. But before using modify, what we need to do? How do we approach?
Key as manager.
No, I'm expecting a different approach. Yeah, Sai, you're saying something?
uh, modify employee designation to senior manager where employee designation is
Correct,
manager.
correct. If you use like that, we don't know which record is having designation as manager. Na? So how do you approach? I want that one. My internal table might contain n number of records. I cannot directly use the modify statement. So where I have to use modify? That is what is my question. Yes, Rohit.
Yes, sir. We need to sort sort.
Why sort is required?
We have segregate the managers first from the table, and then we need to modify.
Okay, so what you are saying is you want to bring all the managers together and
Yes,
then you want to use modify.
yes,
Okay, even if I get all managers together, I may have one manager or I may have 1,000 managers and I don't know which positions they are available. So how do you approach? Correct, your point is fine, but how do you approach? Okay, so let's see this. So what we will do is there are multiple ways of doing this. So what is my initial requirement here? Wherever the designation is manager, that should be updated to what? Senior manager. Okay, So I need to scan the whole internal table. I need to check from first record to what? Last record. Okay, then only I can do the changes, because we don't know at which position managers are available. So how do we scan the whole internal table? By using what? Loop and what? End loop statement. So here I will try to loop it. Already I looped it for displaying. Once again, let me loop here. So I will loop the internal table. So each record will come to what? Work area. So I want to loop only those records where designations are manager. So what I'll do, I'll say where employee designation equal to manager. Unnecessarily, I need not populate each record from body to header. I want to populate only that records which satisfies this condition. So whichever record is having designations manager, only that record I am populating it to work area. So that record will come and sit in the work area. Now what I'll do, now what I'll do is here loop at t underscore emp into w underscore emp where employee designation equal to manager, and here I'll say I cannot directly do the changes in the body. Remember, whatever changes you want to do to the internal table content, we cannot directly do the updation in the body area. Whatever changes you have to do, first you have to do it in the header. I mean to say work area, and referring to that work area, we have to update the corresponding record in the body. So here what I'll do, each record will come to work area. So in the work area level, I'll say w underscore emp hyphen employee designation equal to what? Manager. Okay, so I'm doing the changes at what? Work area level. I'll change it to what? Senior manager. Okay, then what I'll say modify t underscore emp, modify the internal table now from w underscore what? Emp. Modify t underscore emp from w underscore emp. So let's see whether it is modified or not. I can check it only if I redisplay. So let me redisplay here. Data in t underscore emp after using modify inside what? Loop. So let's see whether it is modified or not. So when I execute, you can observe the second block here. First record and third record was having managers. So that got updated to what? Senior manager. That got updated to senior manager. Okay. So let me quickly explain this here. So this is your header, nothing but a work area kind of thing. And this is a body of the internal table. So as usual, body can store what? Multiple records. So assume that this is a record. This is a body of the internal table. This is employee number, employee name, and employee designation. Work area W underscore EMP, and this is internal table T underscore EMP, and these are the fields: employee number, employee number, employee name, and employee designation. Okay, let me put some records here. I'll go by the sequence. So what is the first record? 6 Raju manager, 13 Vamshi employee. 6 Raju, manager. This is 13 Vamshi and something employee. Okay, let me put few more records. 17 Praveen manager, 13 Manoj supervisor. Thirteen is there twice, no problem. 13 Manoj and what? Supervisor. Yeah, assume this is the data in your internal table. Now, what we are doing here, we are saying loop at t underscore emp. Excuse me, 1 second, please. Yeah. So this is the current data in the internal table. What is the logic we wrote here? For modification, I'm looping the internal table. I'm iterating only those records where the designation is what? Manager. So we know loop statement will start from what? First record. So in the first record, what is the designation here? Manager. So my where condition is satisfied. Na? So in the loop statement, where condition is satisfied. So this record will be populated to what? Work area. Okay, the first record is satisfying the where class, so that record will get populated to the work area, which is acting as a header. So this is 6 Raju and something what? Manager. So the record got populated to the work area. Once it is successfully populated, it will enter the loop. Na? So it enters the loop. It will try to execute this 63rd line. What we are doing here? We are setting the value at the work area level. We are setting the designation to what? Senior manager. So this updation will be done where? At the work area level. So in the work area level, currently it is manager. That will be replaced with what? Senior manager. Okay, so this is replaced with senior manager. So SAP will have the intelligence. SAP will have the intelligence which record it has populated. Which record it has populated first. Already we know the index of the internal table starts from 1. Na? So 1, 2, 3. So SAP will have the intelligence which record it has populated. First record it has populated. Done. So we are doing the changes at what? Work area level. Then we are saying modify internal table from work area. Now it will try to update the internal table referring to what? Work area. So when it is updating the internal table, which record it will update? It will have the intelligence which record got iterated, which record got populated, which record first record. So what it will do? It will check the fields. It will check the field values between the work area and the corresponding record in the body. Means it will check this employee number between the work area. To be clear, it will check the employee number between the work area and the what? Corresponding record of the internal table. It will check each field between the work area and the corresponding record in the internal table. So any change in the employee number? No change. Employee number is 6 at work area level. At the body also it is not same. Done. So nothing will be modified. Then it will check what? Employee name between the what? Work area and the corresponding record employee name in the body. Any change here? No change. It will check the next field. Yes, there is a change in what? There is a change in employee designation. There it is senior manager. Here it is only manager. So since there is a change, in the data, it will update this corresponding field in the body also. So what happened now? This manager will be changed to what? Senior manager. Understood? This will update. So what is the default behavior here? When we are using the modify in the loop here, It is comparing each field between the work area and the corresponding record of the body. If any change is there, it will update the body content. So it is updated the designation. Fine. So again loop na. So it will try to iterate the second record. What is the second record? 13 Vamshi employee. Where condition is not satisfied na. So it will not loop it because the where condition is failed. It will go to the next record. 17 Praveen manager. Again this record is satisfied na. This record satisfies the where condition. So this record gets populated from where? From body to what? Work area. Third record gets populated. So what is the third record content here? Let me put it here. What is this? 13, sorry, 17. This is Praveen, and this is again what? Manager. 13 Praveen manager. Right. So it will enter the loop. Since it is successfully populated, it will enter the loop. We are setting the designation to what? Senior manager, where we are setting at the work area level. So at the work area level, we are modifying the designation to senior manager. So this gets what? Updated. What is this here? This is senior manager. It got updated. Done. Then it will go to the next statement. What is the next statement in the loop? Modify. It will try to update this internal table referring to what? Work area. What is that internal table content and the work area content? Again, it will check what? Employee number. It will check the employee number between the work area and the corresponding record in the body. When I say corresponding record, SAP will have the intelligence which record has populated. Which record is populated? Third record. So it will compare the third record data. 17, 17, no change. Nothing will happen. Praveen, Praveen. Here also Praveen, here also Praveen. No change. Understood? So the default behavior is it will compare each field between the work area and the corresponding record in the body of the internal table. Okay, here also what is this? Employee designation, senior manager. Here it is manager. There is a change in a, now it will update this. Since there is a change, it will update this manager to what? Senior manager. So this gets updated to what? Senior manager. Okay, so like this the comparison will happen. Is it clear? So what is the one of the technique to update the content in the internal table? We have to scan those records. I mean to say we have to loop those records based on your condition. First, you have to do the necessary changes in where? In the work area level. Now, referring to the work area, we can update the body content by using what? Modify statement. So whenever I say modify here, what happens here? It will compare each field between the work area and the corresponding record in the body of the internal table. Okay, so there are two performance issues here. What are the two performance issues here? Unnecessarily it is comparing each field between the work area and the body na? We have written the logic to modify only employee designation, but unnecessarily the default behavior is what? Modify will compare each field between the work area and the corresponding record in the body. Am I clear? Which is a what? Performance issue. So what I'll do here, I'll say this as a performance issue as it compares what? Each field between what? Between what? Work area and what? Corresponding record. Corresponding record in what? Body. That is internal table. So what I'll do now, we have written the logic to update only what? Designation. So we need to compare only the designation. So the change you have to do is, I'll say modify T underscore EMP from W underscore EMP. I'll say transporting employee designation. So only what? Designation would be transported between the header and what? between the work area and the corresponding record. Understood? You'll get the same output. Earlier also we got the output, but there is a performance issue. If your internal table is having 20 fields, unnecessarily the 20 fields will be compared. Na? In this case, I'm having only 3 fields. That is fine. But if you have more number of fields, obviously will degrade the performance. So that is the reason to compare, to transport only specific field value between the work area and the corresponding record of the body. Use transporting addition as part of what? Modify. Again, I got the same output. Senior manager and what? Senior manager. Am I clear? Still there is a performance issue. What is that issue here? We are looping those records where designation is what? Manager. Assume that my internal table has got 1 lakh records. Out of 1 lakh records, there are 5,000 records whose designation is manager. So how many times this loop is iterated? 5,000 times the loop is iterated. How many times modify will be executed? 5,000 times the modify statement gets executed. So it is recommended not to use modify statement inside the loop as it degrades the performance. How it degrades the performance? Because the number of times the execution of modify statement depends upon the number of times the loop is iterated. If there are more times the modify statement gets executed, obviously it will degrade the performance. So using modify inside the loop is not recommended. So again, this is a performance issue. So let me comment here. Performance issue. Why performance issue? Modify inside what? Even though I'm using transporting addition, but still modify exists inside what? Loop. So modify inside what? Loop. Yeah. Any queries up to this point? Right. So my next requirement is wherever employees are there, wherever employee is there, that should be updated to senior employee. Okay, wherever employee is there, that should be updated to what? Senior employee. Am I clear? So I can write similar kind of logic here. I can write similar kind of logic, but I don't want to use this modify in the loop, or I want to increase the performance slightly. Am I clear? So what is the agenda now? Wherever employee is there, focus on the second block now. Wherever employee is there, that should be updated to what? Senior employee. So see the technique here. So far, for iterating the internal tables without default header, we are taking a separate work area. Na? I repeat, for iterating, I mean to say for looping the internal tables without default header, we have taken a separate work area. This is a work area we have taken. Now what I'll do is, if you remembered, 1 week back or 10 days back or somewhere sometime, we have discussed about something called as field symbols. Field symbols. Okay. Field symbol, I told it is a special variable which will act as a pointer. Any changes made to the field symbol variable content will automatically reflect the corresponding reference variable or vice versa. Right? So we have seen one syntax there. Now what I'll do is, let me try to declare field symbol work area. This whatever we are declaring so far, it is a normal work area. This we call it as normal work area. Now let me declare field symbol work area. So what I'll do somewhere. So what is the agenda now? If you focus on the second block, wherever employee is there, that should be updated to what? Senior employee. So I'll go for declaring field symbol work area. How to declare field symbols? We have to use the keyword field symbols. And if you have remembered, I told field symbol variable is always enclosed in angular brackets. So I'll say field symbol ABC, field symbol ABC, like line of, field symbol ABC, like line of internal table. What is that internal table? T underscore EMP. Understood? This is nothing but called as what? field symbol work area. Each line, each record in the internal table is nothing but a work area. Na? So this is the syntax. If I declare like this, if I stop it here like this can hold only single field. This field symbol can hold only single field, but I have to hold multiple fields. Na? A record, in my case, my record contains 3 fields: employee number, employee name, designation. So each line of the internal table will represent what work area. So I have to say like line of T underscore MB. This is the syntax for declaring what field symbol work area. Now see the change that I'll do. So what is the agenda here? Wherever the designation is employee, that should be updated to what senior employee. So I'll write similar kind of logic. Observe this carefully. Loop at a T underscore EMP. Earlier we used to loop to a normal work area. Now I'll try to loop to what field symbol work area. Okay, loop at T underscore EMP into ABC, where designation equal to what? Employee. I'm looping only those records where designation is equal to employee. Now I'll do the necessary changes. I'll do the necessary changes in the field symbol work area. ABC for employee designation equal to, I'll say senior what? Employee. So the advantage of using field symbol work area is I need not use the modify statement explicitly. I need not use modify statement explicitly because we already know field symbol will act as a pointer. Any changes made will automatically reflect the reference variable. Here also same story. So what I am doing here, I am looping the each record into field symbol work area wherever the designation is what employee. So I am doing the necessary changes in my field symbol work area. So there will be a pointer link between the field symbol work area and the corresponding record. So if you take assume this record, first record and third record, na? So SAP will have the intelligence that it is referring to what first record is referring to third record. So automatically, the moment you change the data in the field symbol work area, automatically it will update what? The corresponding record in the body. If it is a normal work area, I must use modify statement. Then only updation will be done in the body. But the advantage of field symbol work area is explicitly I need not use modify statement. The moment you make changes to the field symbol work area content will automatically reflect the corresponding record in the body of the internal table because you'll have the pointer link. Hope this is clear. Okay, let's see whether I'll get any runtime errors. Save it, check for the syntax. No syntax errors. When I execute, I am getting a runtime error. Field symbol has not been assigned yet. Okay, I got the error in which line an attempt was made to access the field symbol that have not been assigned yet. I got the runtime error in which line? 78th line it seems. 78th line. What is that 78th line? If I scroll down, what is the 78th line? I'm using the loop at internal into ABC. This statement execution is leading to what? Runtime error. It is leading to runtime error. So why we are getting the runtime error is if it is a normal work area, we have to use into class. If it is a field symbol work area, I cannot use into class. This will give me what? Runtime error. Okay, this will give the runtime error. So what I'll do here, I have to use instead of into, I have to use assigning keyword. So whenever we are iterating the internal table content to a field symbol work area, I should not use into. Instead, we have to use assigning. Done. So save it, check for the syntax. It might have updated. I need to redisplay now. So let us redisplay. So for redisplaying, I will use normal work area or I can use field symbol work area. Doesn't matter. If I redisplay only, I'll understand whether it is updated or not. So data and T underscore EMP after using what? Field symbol work area for what? modification. Okay, so I'm redisplaying once again by iterating into normal work area, or I can iterate it to what? Field symbol work area, doesn't matter, but here I must use field symbol work area so that I need not use the modify statement explicitly. So when I execute, yeah, focus on the third block, wherever the employee is, that is updated to what? Senior employee. It got updated to senior employee. Hope this is clear to everyone. But still, okay, we are avoiding the usage of modify statement explicitly, but still unnecessarily the loop is iterated. Na? Unnecessarily we are executing the loop. Assume that there are some 10,000 records which satisfies this condition. How many times the loop is iterated? 10,000 times. In both the cases we are using loop. But if you see the first case, apart from using the loop, again it has to execute modify. Here the advantage of the second approach compared to the first approach is we are avoiding the explicit usage of what? Modify statement. But again we are not avoiding the loop. Na? Again here also the loop is iterated, but we are avoiding what? Modify statement execution. Okay, so this is second way of what? Updating the internal table content. Any queries so far? So the advantage of using field symbol work area is, since it will have a pointer link, explicitly I need not use a modify statement inside the loop. Right? Now my next requirement is, wherever supervisor is there, that should be updated to senior supervisor. So supervisor is there at the fourth record, fifth record, and seventh record. We don't know at which places supervisor is there. I want to update it to what? Senior supervisor. Okay, so already we have seen two approaches. We have seen two approaches. Let us see the better approach. So I'll say here. So what is the requirement? Wherever supervisor is there, that should be updated to what? Senior supervisor. So without looping the internal table, I am clearing the work area before I reuse. W underscore emp hyphen employee designation equal to what? Senior what? Supervisor. I am setting this value to what? Senior supervisor. Okay, done. So what I am doing here, I am not using any loop. Directly I am setting the modified content. I am setting the modified content at the work area level. Okay, now I'll say modify. I'm not using loop here. Modify t underscore emp from w underscore emp transporting employee designation, where I'll use a where class, where employee designation equal to what? Supervisor. Let me check whether the syntax is okay or not. So the advantage of this is we are ensuring that the modify statement gets executed only once. If you are using modify inside the loop, how many times the modify gets executed depending upon number of times the loop is iterated. So here we are ensuring that only once modify statement gets executed. We don't know how it works internally, but explicitly we are ensuring that modify statement is executed only once. So let me redisplay and check whether it is updated or not. Data and t underscore emp after using modify with what? Modify with what? Where class outside loop. Outside loop. Okay, so let's print it. When I execute, no errors. F8. Yes, you can see here. Wherever supervisor was there, that is updated to what? Senior supervisor. Very clear. So the advantage of this third approach is what? Modify statement gets executed only once. Okay, if I debug this, I'll put the breakpoint here. in the 95th line or in the 94th line, I'm putting the breakpoint. Let me execute. Right. So if you see this internal table T underscore EMP, it has got 7 records at this stage. So what is our agenda? Wherever supervisor is there, that should be updated to what? Wherever supervisor is there, that should be updated to senior supervisor. Am I clear? So what is the logic I wrote here? I'm clearing the work area content. Okay, so I'll say F5. Before reusing, I'm clearing it. I'm setting the modified value directly in the work area. As of now, work area designation is having space. I'll say F5. Yes. What is the modified content? Senior supervisor. Now, what you are doing? We are saying modify internal table from work area. Again, anyhow, I know that I'm updating only designation. So I'm transporting only what? Designation between the work area and the corresponding records. Okay, transporting employee where designation equal to manager. So in the internal table, there are 3 records where the designation is equal to what? Supervisor. So these 3 records gets updated to what? Senior supervisor. How it is working internally, it is not our headache, right? So it will use the where class internally, it will update, right? Our job is we are avoiding the execution of modify statement multiple times. Only once we are executing the modify. So when I say F5, yes, it might have updated in a single step. You can see here. Yes, it got updated to what? From supervisor to senior supervisor. Again, for confirmation, I am looping and displaying. I'm not interested to debug. I'll say F8. So these are the 3 different ways which I can use for updating the content of the internal table. Any questions? So which is better? I feel the third one is much better. Yeah, any questions, please? Okay. Here only let me cover this. So yeah, Sai.
Sir, if we want to modify a record, first we have to get that record from internal table to work area. If that
Correct.
internal table is declared without default work area, without default header, so
Yeah,
how to write syntax?
even if
to
it is even if it is with the default header, okay, don't use work area. Just say like this. It will come to default header. Then you say modify t underscore b from will not be there. That's all. You understood, Sai? If the internal
Okay,
table
sir.
is having its own header, if the internal is created with the default header, in the loop you'll say only what? Loop at t underscore emp. Here you'll
Only
say
internal
t
table.
and yeah, only internal table. Here you'll say t underscore emp hyphen designation. It will update at the default header. Then here you simply say modify t underscore emp. That's all. Don't say from,
Okay.
right? So it will have the intelligence. If you simply say modify t underscore emp transporting employee designation, it will check whether this internal table has got its own header. Yes, it is having its own header, it will work. If you're having explicit work area only, we have to use a from statement. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yeah. Any other questions, others? Okay. My next requirement is, so if you focus on the last block, this is a block. So you can see here, I am having many senior managers, I am having many senior employees, I am having many senior supervisors. Okay. So I want to delete the records. I want to delete the records which are having duplicate designations. Means I have to keep one record I have to keep one record. Okay, I have to delete the rest of the record. I'll do one thing just for okay, done. So this is the current data in the internal table. Okay, so you can see here we have some senior managers, we have some senior employees, we have some senior supervisors. So what is my requirement here? Wherever the designations are repeating, I have to keep only the first record. The rest of the duplicate records should be deleted. Means if you take senior manager, how many senior managers are there? 2 senior managers. I have to keep the first record. 6 Raja I have to keep. The second duplicate record should be deleted. 17 Praveen senior manager should be deleted. Similarly, if you take senior supervisor, we have overall 3 records. Only first record should be retained. The rest of the duplicate senior supervisor should be deleted. Understood? My deletion is based on what? Duplicate designations. Am I clear? Remember, I don't want to delete all the records. I have to keep one record. Only the duplicate second record onwards I have to delete. So see what I'll do. I will say sort T underscore EMP by employee designation. So what this statement will do internally, it will get all managers together. It will get all senior managers together. It will get all senior employees together. It will get all senior supervisors together. Now I'll say delete adjacent duplicates. We have a statement delete adjacent duplicates from what? T underscore EMP. Delete adjacent duplicates from T underscore EMP where not that's all. Save it, check it. Yeah, no error. That's all. Delete adjacent duplicates from T underscore EMP. Let me try to redisplay. If I redisplay only, I'll understand whether it is deleted or not. Delete data in T underscore EMP after using what? Delete adjacent duplicates. Okay, let me save it. Check for the syntax. Done. Execute this. Focus on the last block. Good. Oh, what happened, boss? Oh, I'm sorry. Delete adjacent duplicates from T underscore EMP. Comparing, I forgot. Comparing employee designation. Comparing employee designation. So when I execute, yeah, if you see the last block, what happened? Director any of one record is there, it is not deleted. But whereas if you take senior employee, 2 records were there. So one senior employee got deleted. Sorry, one senior employee got deleted. First one is retained. Again, senior manager. Okay, there are 2 senior managers. One record got deleted. Senior supervisor, 3 records were there. Only first record it is retaining. The second and third record got deleted. Understood? So this is the behavior of a delete adjacent duplicate. Suppose if I use delete adjacent duplicates without sorting, I am using delete adjacent duplicates comparing with what? Employee designation. Assume that I am not sorting it. So what happens? It will not give any error, but it will not have any effect. It will not have any effect. So when I execute, yeah, I can see here. Yeah, there are some 2 records, senior supervisor adjacent was there. That got deleted. But another senior supervisor like that only. Understood? So the prerequisite for using delete adjacent duplicates is what? You sort the internal table based on the comparing field. Understood? So that's the reason I'm comparing based on employee designation. That is the reason I have to sort it based on employee designation. So it is going to sort it based on employee designation so that at the time of deletion, it will compare only the adjacent duplicate records. Adjacent duplicate records. Okay, so here if you see, I got this data. This is the current data, the last block. Now my requirement is I want to delete the third record. How many records are there in the internal table, final internal table? 4 records. I want to delete the third record. Third record means index is what? 3, yeah? Index is 3, na? So I'll say delete. I don't know whether it works or not. Delete t underscore emp. I'll say index 3. Delete internal table index 3. Let me try to reprint it. Data in t underscore emp after using delete based on what? Index. So I'm trying to delete which record? Third record. Huh? Okay. So when I execute, scroll down. Yeah, good. What was the third record earlier? 6 Raju and what? Senior manager. It got deleted. Na? Understood? Directly, when do we use that syntax? If you know the position of the record, I can use index. Now I want to delete that record where designation is director. I want to delete that record where designation is director. So what I'll do here, I have to clear w underscore emp, w underscore emp hyphen employee designation equal to what? Director. I'll say, because I don't know the position of that record, delete t underscore emp from w underscore emp. Let me reprint it, then we'll understand. Okay, data in t underscore emp after using delete with what? Delete based on what? Work area. Based on work area. Okay, let's save it. Check for the syntax. No errors. Let me check whether I'll get any errors. Yeah, I'm getting the error. So I can't use this. The current statement only supports numerical data. So it is not allowing that. So I'll do in another way. Delete so and so where employee designation equal to director. Let me try this syntax. I don't want this. Data in t underscore mp after using delete with what? Where class. Still I'm in doubt. Let me check. No syntax errors. Execute. Yeah, fine. Scroll down. Yeah, good. What happened here? See, wherever the designation was director, that director got deleted. So I can use delete based on what? Where class. I can use delete based on index, or I can go for this delete adjacent duplicates. The prerequisite for delete adjacent duplicates is what? We have to use what? Sort statement. We have to sort the internal table before using delete adjacent duplicates. Otherwise, it will not have any effect. Okay, so this is how you will modify and delete the contents of the internal table. Any questions? Okay, so on this standard internal tables, okay, on this standard internal tables, what are the things we have discussed? Standard internal table, what? With what? Default header. Understood? Standard internal table with what? Default header. Standard internal table, what? Without default header. So without default header means what you are doing? We are taking what? Explicit work area, which will act as what? Header. And we have seen we can use both append as well as insert. We can use both append as well as insert on the standard internal table. We already know the difference also. We have seen that. And we have declared what? Standard internal table with key or what? Without key. With the key means it is always non-unique. It doesn't support unique. We already know the purpose of that key. At the time of sorting, this key it will take into consideration. We have seen sort statement, and for clearing the data, we have seen clear statement, refresh statement, what else? Freeze statement. For modification, we have seen modify. As part of this only, we have seen what? Field symbol, what? Work area. Am I clear? Then we have seen what? Copying the data from one internal table to another internal tables. We have seen assign statement. We have seen append lines statement, all those things. Then we have seen what? Deleting the content from the internal table. Right? These are the things we have discussed so far on the standard internal table. Any questions? Okay. So tomorrow I'll stop for today. Tomorrow we'll see the difference between sorted and what hash internal table. Probably tomorrow would be the last session for the internal table. When I say last session, doesn't mean that we will not use it later on. Again, we'll use in every program we'll use. When we start the database programming, from that point onwards till the end of the course, almost in every requirement, we'll use the internal tables and what work areas. As of these sessions, we are trying to understand the different statements. Okay, we'll see again, we'll discuss this again in what? Database programming, reports, module pool, BDC, smart forms, everywhere we use internal tables and work areas. Right, so I'll stop for today. We'll continue tomorrow with the sorted and hash and internal tables. Yeah, I'm winding off. Any questions? Chalo. Thank you everyone. We'll meet tomorrow.